Hi, Mark Reedy here. Just wanted to go over a few things we're working on still, trying to get this new update out the door, and just wanted to kind of show you what we're doing right now. So on the 90-day inspections, which can be any number of days that you guys choose, um, when you're adding an inspection and you have basically we have these buttons here now at the bottom. Copy defective items to needed maintenance and repairs, and then create new work order from defective items. And so in the past, if an item was marked as defective, it would automatically transfer and let you know. It would pop up a little message to let you know that the item was defective. Now you can just copy those all. You just copy those all at once here, or you can create a new work order from those defective items. And on the creating the new work order from defective items, so if I go in here and go ahead and enter in a date. Well, let me copy it over first. So I'm going to create a new work order from defective items, and lets me know it's been added. So now I'm going to go over to work orders, and we see this defective inspection items along with the other items that were added to that particular work order. So previously I had just added a defective inspection items to the short description, but now they're going to be added. Each defective item will be in the short description, and then they're also going to be down here in the detailed description, as well as down here it's going to tell you, regarding which inspection and the date it was inspected rather, and then also it will let you know if there's any notes next to that inspection, that defective inspection item. So that's what we're doing on that. And then also on the 90-day inspections, we're going to be actually shortening the words on these a little bit and adding one more button down here, and that'll be add new lube service. And so the idea on that is so if an inspection was done and that inspection is also being done at the same time as a lube service, and maybe is incorporated within that lube service, it'll copy over the inspector's name, the date inspected, and the odometer and hours meter readings over to create a new lube service. So it's going to pop up the lube service screen, and all that stuff will be pre-filled, so it'll look like this. And you can see how we're changing the lube service here. It'll look like this, and so the inspection date, the odometer, the hours meter reading, and who accomplished it will all be pre-filled in. And then you're just going to choose the lube service type. And when you choose the lube service type, it's going to populate with all the items that are done on that particular lube service type. And so there's no longer any check boxes for that. And you just choose whatever was done on that lube service, and you can delete those items as needed by clicking on an item and then pressing the delete key. Or you can also add multiple other items, and you can create larger lists of items for your lube services. So that's how that's going to work, and that'll just pop up over the inspection if you want to do a lube service and have that completed at the same time you do the inspection, so you don't have any double data entry at that point. The other thing on lube services is we also are adding, and you might have seen this before, to the work orders. If I go up here, and we see we're going to have this lube service completions tab inside work orders. So in this, if I wanted to show one of these previous lube services as being completed now with this work order, I could just double click on it like this, and you can see that it populates all that information there. If I had an odometer reading over here and a accomplished by person here on the service by, it would put it in there. And otherwise you can just choose a different accomplished by, and you can put the and it'll also grab the completed date and put that in there as well. So same thing, you can add to these items, and this is going to be all templated, so whenever you have a lube service type, it'll populate with whatever items are typical for that lube service type. And then you can always customize it based upon what actually happened during that lube service. So that's what's going on with that. And then we can just save and close, and that would add that new lube service into the system. And let's see what else here. Okay, also on the short descriptions and the service by and on the labor descriptions, we're going to be adding the ability to, well, basically what the update's going to do is it's going to look for any duplicates in these short descriptions. It's going to remove the duplicates, combine them all, and then it's going to you'll be able to see exactly where those lube services were used on which work orders. And then you'll be able to combine one. Say if you had some that were similar, you'd be able to combine those into a single lube service. Let me just show you an example. So if I open this up and we can see the short descriptions. And so we might see stuff that looks similar here, right? So we see 2 new tires and then we have 2 tires. So if we wanted to combine those into a single entry so we don't have this extra data here, we could just take this 2 new tires, make that the same as the other one, 2 tires, and then we can click update work orders below to the new description. And so basically we click that, and now it's combined all of them into a single entry. So that's how that's going to work. That's going to work that way for descriptions, for short descriptions, also for service by and for the labor descriptions as well. And also if you delete a short description from the system, now it won't delete it from the work order also. So it won't put a blank space in there, or you'll always have a history of what would happen in the work order. So deleting those short descriptions won't remove them from the work orders. Also, when you go to add something, a new item to your short descriptions, so let me just give you an example here. I'm going to go ahead and just put the word tire in. Yeah, let me just put something else with tire. Let's try, okay, let's try the word air and see what we got. So if I hit tab here, so it's going to ask me if I want to add it. If I click cancel, it's just going to allow me to add the word air to this particular work order, but not to the drop-down list. But if I click OK there, it's going to show me a bunch of stuff with the word air in it that I may have wanted to use instead. So anything with the word air, it's going to show those, and then I can choose one of those to use instead of adding something new that may end up being similar to something that was already in there. So that'll help to prevent some of the similar stuff that gets entered in there, so that your data is cleaner that way. Otherwise, if none of this stuff is what I want, then you just go ahead and click this button here where it says go ahead and add air to the list. And if I do that, it just adds it to the list. Alright, so that's how that's going to work there. It's going to work the same way on the service by and on the labor completed descriptions. And let's see what else. Okay, we're going to be adding a decimal, probably with 2 spots to the right of the sort order number, so that your sort order numbers can actually have a point after it, so that you could have maybe a bunch of 14s within a 0.1 or 0.1 through 99, so that you can add more stuff and fit them in between other entries there. So it gives you a little bit more granularity. And let's see what else. Okay, one final thing I'll just show you real quick is on the fuel log. We're going to be changing it, and we've already done it here in this beta that we're working with internally, is put the date at the beginning column, so that when you get over to your current odometer reading, you will have already entered in the date that the fueling took place. Instead of having the date at the end of the row, it's going to be at the beginning of the row now. And so that should make your data entry a little bit easier. and better for making sure those dates that get these odometer readings that get transferred over to equipment summary have the date that you want it to be. Also updating so that if you do make a mistake here while you're still in the row on the odometer reading or in the date, it'll automatically update the current. If you've transferred it over to the equipment summary to the odometer reading here, it will automatically update that reading for you, and not add a new reading. It'll just update it for you. And same thing with the date. All right, so that's it for this little update, and hopefully we'll have this out real quick. Thanks a lot. Take care.